First of all, how's your voice after about 60 plays and that crazy noise?
Well, my voice was cracking a lot during the game. Oh, I felt badly about that. I think on the TV, people don't quite understand how loud it really was. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and at the end of the day, after 70 plays, my voice just can't take it, but I did all I could.
Yeah, you ready for another one of those this week?
Yeah, when you're the 6th seed, you better be ready for it, because we're going to be on the road if we want to go all the way, so it'll be a tough environment again.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let me take you back 2 years. You're a free agent at Washington. You got a lot of options. How did you make the decision to come here, and what drew you to Minnesota?
It's a great question. It really came down to winning football games. I wanted to be a part of a playoff run and having those moments like we had last Sunday. And I just felt like Minnesota was my best shot to do that. And it was a pretty easy decision. Prayed about it, felt peace about it, and here we are.
I know you're really close with your dad. Did you talk to him about making the decision, and what did he have to say to you?
Yeah, it was an ongoing conversation, and he enjoys them. He's a football fan.
I know,
and so
I'm not, right?
he loves following it, and he's an involved dad, and so it's fun to have his input and have his wisdom, and through so many decisions in life, and this was just one of the more recent ones.
Knowing that Minnesota had gone to the NFC Championship game the year before, and everybody's looking at you as you're the guy that's going to put us over the top, get us to the Super Bowl. How did you handle that kind of pressure and the pressure of the big contract and the expectations?
I just got to do my job and fulfill my role. And certainly the quarterback is going to take a lot of the praise when things go well. He's going to take a lot of the criticism when things don't go well. So you understand, you take the good with the bad. And ultimately it's about winning football games, playing at a high level, doing your part. And, you got to leave the rest to say, hey, I did my best, gave all I could, and we'll let the results sort themselves out.
Then your first year, you have a good year, the team has a good year, but you don't get there. Right. And a lot of people are saying, well, Kirk Cousins is the reason. Maybe he's not the guy. Sure. Did you hear that, and how did you respond?
Well, it's pretty hard not to hear it, but you also understand that you got to listen to people in this building who are coaching you, what they're telling you to do. Do all you can as far as what they're telling you to do, and then own up when you make a mistake and say, hey, I wasn't good enough. I need to play better in this area. And I think that's what our offseason was about, was how do we get back to the playoffs and have a better result. And that's what our work has been since OTAs through training camp and now through this season into the playoffs. We've just been trying to work and improve and get better. And, we believe we have a very good football team, but we got to show it on Saturday.
Yeah. I know I went through it in my career, not winning playoff games, and people say, oh, you can't win the big one. I had Peyton Manning, and he didn't win his first playoff game until year 5. It does wear on you, but how did you handle that?
Yeah, it's such a results-based business, and the bigger the moment, the more important it is that you deliver. And certainly it's nice when you can climb that mountain earlier in your career than later, but for some of us it took a little longer, and I think to get that first playoff win was another achievement, a great feeling to say, okay, we did that, but there's now more mountains to climb. And it's about getting multiple playoff wins and ultimately about winning a Super Bowl, which you and Peyton do have, and I'm still trying to chase. So, looking forward to that journey of getting there, that's what it's all about. It's going to be an exciting adventure.
You talked about winning that first playoff game. That celebration in the locker room seemed like it was a little more than just, hey, we won a game. What was the feeling?
Well, a playoff game on the road in a place like New Orleans is obviously a big accomplishment, and in the fashion that we won in overtime, and it was a true team win. I mean, it took so many different people making plays at different times to get that win. And as you know, post-game NFL locker room, it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and after a win, we were on cloud 9.
Now, you always give the image of the quiet leader, the calm guy, the under control guy. But every now and then that you like that comes out, and it came out then. So what was going through your mind at that moment?
Just so happy for our organization, for our team, for the work we had done, and the job we had done that day. It's a fun 3 words. And more than anything, I think
Where did it come from?
Well, I think it goes back to my days in Washington. And
I knew that's the first time we got it, but where did that come from?
Well, it was actually kind of an inside joke with my roommate, Tom Compton, who played for the Jets this past year. We're close friends, and we kind of had a little banter back and forth with each other where we'd say it, you like that, and different reasons, different ways. And it kind of morphed into saying it in the locker room. And and on the practice field. So it's been fun, and it was great to see the way my teammates responded when I said it. So we had fun, and that's why you play is for those great memories on the field and then post game in the locker room being able to celebrate.
You think it's good for people to know that you've kind of got that kind of edge at times?
Oh yeah. I think sometimes you can be misrepresented because, you want to play the position of quarterback as a CEO and just as a stone cold killer. And you don't want to ride this emotional roller coaster. I think if I do that, I can start to make poor decisions with the football. And so I try to be very, calm, cool, collected. But really who I am is an emotional guy, an intense guy. I love to play with passion. But I try to find that balance. And usually after a big win, the intensity and the passion is what's going to come out.
And it came out for sure.
Did.
So I'm going to go back to the fourth quarter and overtime of this game. Everything's on the line, and that's really why you came here, right?
Amen. Amen. I mean, that's how quarterbacks get measured. We get the ball in overtime, which was big to win that coin toss.
Yeah. What are you thinking when the coin toss and you guys win the toss? What's going through your mind?
Well, we don't want to punt it back to Sean Payton and Drew Brees in that offense, so it was important that we take advantage right away and score. We had some good play calls, got across midfield, and then called the play action pass that we hit to Adam.
And I want to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Did you know, was it called knowing that Lattimore, their best corner, was out, or what did you?
I don't believe it was. I didn't know he was out.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know. The play call came in, and I was just trying to see, the rest of the coverage and where the safety was going to be, and then coming out of the fake, just trying to see if Adam had won and gave him a chance. After the game, I didn't know that Lattimore was out. I didn't realize who was covering him, and Adam made a great play.
You just dialed in, looking at your keys and your coverages. Yeah, kind of focused on the safety
and really just my progression. So
when the ball's in the air, Adam's got him beat by a step.
Yeah.
When you threw it, did you think it was on the money?
Well, I'd overthrown a couple of those earlier in the year, in week 2 and week 4. And so this one I pulled the string a little bit just to make sure it wasn't overthrown, and it ended up being more or less right where it needed to be. And part of that is Adam. When you track the football well, you can make a quarterback look accurate because he saw it really well.
And Justin kept his body in front of him.
He did a great job making that adjustment, and it was still pretty tight coverage, but great play to connect on and get down the 2-yard line.
Did you think that was a touchdown when you threw it? Or?
No, I knew he fell short. But certainly on the 2-yard line, first and goal, you like your chances.
But now you get to third down, and as you said, you don't want to punt it back to them.
No.
A touchdown's going to win it. Take me through that play to Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, we knew the possibility of them bringing all-out blitz, cover 0, and so we had to be ready for that pressure, and they brought it. And so I knew the ball had to go up to Kyle, and the key with Rudy's size is just put the ball up. Make sure you can go up and get it. It doesn't have to be the perfect throw. And so I just wanted the ball up in the air where he can get underneath it and go up.
Well, speaking of the ball, the snap wasn't quite where you wanted, right?
Yeah.
And because we saw it, that you almost didn't catch it.
Yeah, Garrett Bradbury, our center's done a phenomenal job all year. We've really leaned on him. And the snap was a little right. It was a little hot. And certainly in cover 0, the ball's got to get out. And so I'm nervous about catching it, getting the laces, and being quick enough with it, but it all worked out.
Because you got to get it up fast.
Yeah, the ball's got to get out. Yeah. Safety's coming free. But it all worked out, got the ball up, and then Rudy made a great play.
Now tell me, because it had been just bizarre the whole game, how quiet was it when Kyle caught that ball?
Yeah, the noise was crazy, and then it threw us off because you knew silence meant we did something right. But it still didn't feel right to be celebrating in a quiet stadium that had been loud for the last 3 hours. So it threw me off, and I still didn't quite know if we had won the game for a while because of the possibility of replay or pass interference and all those things. And it took Kevin Stefanski walking over to me on the bench and saying, "Kirk, we won the game." And that's when I looked up and realized the media was on the field and it was truly over, and huge sigh of relief.
Then what's going on inside you at that moment?
Well, certainly a lot of work over a lot of years comes to mind, and you're just very satisfied in that moment for what your team has done. And yet you realize, hey, we got to get ready for next week.
Oh, yeah.
And so what you can't have is the emotional letdown, because you put so much into this past week. We have to have the maturity as a team to make sure that, we have a great week and a great game such that, we bring that same intensity that we brought to New Orleans, that it shows up there in San Francisco as well.
Did you talk to the guys on the plane coming home about that?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge. And as captains, we've got to challenge people to say, hey, your preparation can't change one bit. If anything, you got to ratchet it up another notch. And then ultimately what you bring to the table Saturday has got to be the best you've ever played.
I know you've got 2 real high-quality wide receivers, but they're pretty intense guys. And we saw Stefan on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he's frustrated because he feels like he's not contributing. And I saw you go and look right in his eyes. What did you say to him?
Well, I think it's just communication and just trying to understand that, hey, probably could have thrown you there, so I'll be the first one to admit you could have gotten the ball there, my fault. But we're going to need you here. We're going to come back to you. And, you know, to his credit, as upset as he may get, he's also going to listen and communicate well. And you love the passion, because that passion is what makes him a great player as well. So, you know, it's not the first time we've had those conversations, and it won't be the last.
Well, then you get to a big 3rd down late in the regulation. And to me, it looked like you could have run and made the 1st down, and you stuck it on him. Was that kind of just saying, I got you and I trust you?
Oh, yeah, a lot of trust from me to Stefan. People don't realize how great he is tracking the football, how strong his hands are, the ability he has to make a catch in traffic, in addition to all of his movement skills and how he can get open. So ultimate confidence in him, especially in that moment. And there were probably a few times where I could have run for a 1st down. I was watching the tape saying, man, I should have just run it.
But you got to feed your guys,
when
right?
you got Diggsy and Adam and Rudy and a few, you know, we can spread the ball around. And so I'll be looking to run, though, in future weeks.
You played for Coach Shanahan, and you know him, he knows you.
Yeah.
Tell me how he helped your career.
Well, when I came in as a rookie, I was a blank slate. And so I was a sponge. Whatever he and Matt LaFleur told me, I listened to, took notes, tried to apply. And at the time, I don't know that I fully appreciated how great of coaches they really were. I mean, I respected them, and I knew they were helping me. But looking back now, I was so lucky to have them, and also to have Sean McVay and Mike, not to mention Mike Shanahan. So very fortunate to have the coaches that I had as a young player, and that really built the foundation for me to be able to then develop in this league. And you know, to this day, I'll tell you, Kyle has had as big an impact on me as probably any coach I've had.
Have you been able to tell your defensive guys or coaches anything about the way he calls games, anything that might help them?
Well, you know, you try to speak into it a little bit, but at this point, we've played so many of these offenses, and they've played them enough that I really trust them to handle it and to know what they do well. And so I kind of stay in my lane and trust them to get the job done.
I coached here 25 years ago, and the fans were hungry for a Super Bowl then. I know how passionate and how hungry are they right now? Can you feel that?
Yeah, that hasn't changed at all. If anything, it's only grown. After one of our tough losses this year, I remember getting on the buses and I saw a fan in a purple and yellow T-shirt, and all it said on it was, "Just once in my lifetime." And what they mean is a world championship. And so you want to deliver that. You know, with everything you have, you want to deliver that, and that's why we work so hard. And so, what better time than right now? I mean, here we are in the divisional round. So one game at a time. We got to get the 49ers, and it's not going to be easy. But you know, when you're this close, it certainly gets exciting.
For you, what do you think in this game, the biggest challenge? What do you have to do to make the Vikings successful?
Well, we're playing arguably the best defense in football. The pass rush, the way they prevent explosive plays, I mean, it's not going to be easy. So as a quarterback, running the offense, going against such a good defense, you certainly can't put us in negative place. You know, we've got to protect the football. We've got to convert third downs. We've got to, in the red zone, score touchdowns, not settle for field goals. Many of the same, you know, phrases you're going to hear every week would apply. But I guess being that it's the playoffs.
Any one special thing for you that you've dialed in on?
You know, I think when we get a chance to make an explosive play, we've got to hit it. You know, because at times, whether it's third down or if they jump into a certain coverage, just like last week against the Saints in overtime, hey, we got a shot here. We haven't been getting many. Yeah. When we do get them, you know, we can't miss. They can't be long foul balls. They got to hit for a completion. Well,
if you win this week, are we going to hear it? You like that, or we got something else for them?
I guess we're going to have to win, and you'll find out. But there's a pretty good chance it'll be those three words.
I love it. I love
Thanks,
it.
Coach.
Kirk, thank you. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.